Welcome folks to another video of mine. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I decided to do a new whip and chat. This is the Puppy Paw diamond painting that I got yesterday, that I picked up yesterday from my dad's, and I did a kit up of it yesterday, last night. And I started working on it, and I thought, what the heck? Let's do a whip and chat so you can see how I'm doing, how it's coming along. As you can see, I'm almost done this first row. Sorry about the light in the way. It helps me to see my drills in the tray better, so that I can spot the bad drills, so I can pull them out. And these drills, they they have like just a tiny little nick out of them, on quite a few of them. Where did I put my trash? There it is. Yeah, just before I started recording, I had a little bit of a accident. I accidentally knocked over my little goblet, and spilt on a little bit on my canvas and a little bit into my tray. So I had to clean that up, and it got me a little kerfluffled. Yeah. So, let me move that up a little bit, and yeah, continue on. I'm doing the letter A right now, the little A. If you watched my kit up, yesterday's kit up, you'll remember that I ended up with two bottles of the little A and 2 bottles of the little E, and the second bottle for each color, for each symbol, had very, very small amount in both, and I've used, there's a fair bit of both color in the first row. So now I'm down to just, like, this is all that's left of the A, little A, and this is all that's left of the little E. The other 2 bottles are empty. Yay! So, enough dilly-dallying. Let's get to it. So, yeah. There are, today is Sunday, November 9th, 10th? 9th, 10th? What day is it? Oh, goodness. It's the 9th. Yes, it's the 9th today. I believe that's the correct date. Anyways, so, I know it's a Sunday. Yeah, the kids from the house next door, well, they showed up. Well, it's just, actually, technically it's one kid and his cousin. She comes over, I guess on the weekends. She comes over and they hang out a lot. And a friend of theirs, the 3 of them showed up on my doorstep not long after I got up, and they've got one of those, it's a cordless microphone, and had a wireless speaker, and they're like, yeah, we're trying to raise money by singing. We're singing to raise money for my cousin's birthday. It's like, oh, okay, well, sorry, can't help you. I don't really use cash. I use debit. So I'm like, well, maybe when I get paid in a couple of weeks, I'll get some cash out and a couple of dollars out and for them. These kids, they're always, well, not always, but periodically they'll show up trying to sell something to make money, and it's probably their way of making money to spend. Maybe they don't get an allowance, or because they don't do housework. I don't know. I don't know how kids. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm a little out of touch with things these days when it comes to kids and whatnot. Because my kids haven't been in my life for quite a few years. So anyways, yeah, they came by. It was nice to see them, but they didn't stay long. Yeah, and then they took off. But yeah, periodically I can hear them outside shrieking, or I can hear the echo from that microphone. Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, when I was doing my video last night, and I was looking at my calendar, the calendar app on my phone, to see when I get paid next, and realized, well, yeah, I get paid in a week and a half. That box that's coming, yeah, I looked up, I found the picture of the diamond painting that I'm going to be doing first and foremost when it arrives. It's a fair size. It's from Diamond Art Club, and it's a really nice one. There's a lot of black, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 310 heavy. It's very, very lots of color blocking, and I think it's an AB. But yeah, it's a really nice diamond painting. But yeah, oh goodness, I think I might have to use a multiplacer for the black to get through the black faster. Although I do like using the checkerboard pattern, the checkerboard for black. I do that a lot with color blocking. I do the checkerboard because I don't know if it actually does, but it definitely feels like it makes it go fast. It feels like it makes things go faster with diamond painting. So we'll see when it gets here. But in the meantime, I want to try and get as much of this one done as I can before that box gets here. Unfortunately, I keep checking USPS website with the tracking code for the box, and for most of last week it just kept saying that what in the world? I have never gotten trash like that before. But yeah, it keeps saying that oh, what's it called? I lost the words. But I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. The oh god. I want to try and say the words, but I don't remember the words. The sticker, oh my goodness. I really want to say the words, but I can't remember the words. Invoice thingy, sticker, tracking. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, I can't remember the words. But, yeah, I'm quite sure anyone who's received snail mail through the Postal Service would know what I mean. What I'm trying to say. But, yeah, it just keeps saying that. So, and there's no new information. Well, there was a package that, I had something similar. It was saying something similar. Did that for a few days, and the next thing I knew, it was, excuse me, no new information. And then the next day, oh, it's been delivered. Oh, okay, so I can go to the post office and pick it up. Yeah. So, I don't know if it's just like it's a new tracking number, because it's now in Canada, or what have you. All I know is last update was that it was in Denver, Colorado. Because, yeah, she lives not too far from Denver, Colorado. I don't know how far from Denver, Colorado. I've never, I know the name of the town where she lives, obviously, because I've shipped a couple of packages to her, and I've received a couple of packages from her. But I've never, like, done any research to try and find out exactly where in Colorado that little town is. Because, well, I respect her privacy. I'm not gonna, unless I was like gonna travel down there and visit her, like, then, well, I just don't see a reason to, really. Yeah. So anyways, I'm still looking forward to getting that box. There will be no point in trying to find new information tomorrow, because tomorrow is Remembrance Day here in Canada, and I know it's also called Veterans Day down there in the United States. So it's a holiday, so the postal workers will not be working. So I have to wait until Tuesday for any hopeful updates. And fingers crossed on it arriving next week. Well, this week. I want it to arrive this week so that I have more time to work on it. Because, yeah, I want to ship this one and that one on payday. Well, technically the day after payday, because I'll be going to the town next door with my dad. To get shopping done, so I'll just go to the post office and ship it at that time. Even though, yeah, I could just on payday hop on my bike and ride my bike down to the post office here. Yeah, you may have noticed I'm a bit of a procrastinator. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit of a procrastinator. I still have clean my dishes that I did are still sitting on the counter and on the stove. I was going to put them away yesterday, but I ended up staying for dinner at my parents' place. And then after dinner, sat and watched, well, the TV was on. They had curling on the TV, but my dad was playing games on his tablet, and my bonus mom was scrolling through videos on Facebook, and I was reading a book on my phone while knitting a curtain. I have this little curtain that I only work on it when I'm not at home. I keep it in this little backpack purse that I have, and yeah, I only work on it when I'm not at home. So like at my dad's, after dinner I went and I grabbed my phone, and I was going to play a game. Oh no, that was before dinner, after we finished getting the microwave oven done. I was going to play games on my phone, and then it's like, wait a minute, why waste time playing games on my phone when I can do something productive, like work on a knitting project, aka curtain. So I went and I grabbed my bag, pulled my knitting out of my bag, and went and sat down and in front of the TV and started knitting. And yeah, I know I mention periodically in videos about my knitting and my crocheting projects. I don't know how I would do like a WIP and chat of one of those projects. Maybe I'll just, I don't know. I should do a video though, showing the what I've done so far, but I think I'm just gonna wait until I have them installed. Once I have them hanging. And I know the sooner I get them hung, the warmer it's going to be in here. Because, yeah, my space heater is basically running 24/7 now. I know it's going to burn out. I hope it doesn't get burned out before winter's over. Because, yeah, it's one of those where it's got like I don't know the actual temperature gauge on it. Like it doesn't get like it'll automatically shut off when it gets to a certain temperature, and this one, it's just a dial. It doesn't give you like actual temperatures. It's just a little cheap one. But yeah, it'll shut off when it gets to a certain temperature, and then when the temperature starts to drop, it'll turn back on. Well, it doesn't quite get warm enough for it to get to that temperature to be able to shut off, because of winter's coming. So instead, it just keeps running and running and running, and the furnace will kick in when it gets just a touch too cold. Yeah. So I'm gonna be saving up some money to get a new space heater, preferably a slightly larger one. I keep thinking about asking my special friend if I can borrow his space heater for the winter, but I don't know if he uses it, because he lives in his dad's basement, and so I don't know if he uses it down there or not. But I know it's larger than mine. It's like twice the size of mine, and it's a nice one. It's a decent sized one. And his has like the digital readout of the temperature, which is nice. Yeah. And I know he did mention a couple of months ago, he did say that I should look into using like a space heater to help with heating this place in the winter. And I'm like, well, you know, I've got this little one, and I've got a smaller one, a little tiny one, in my bedroom. But I'd like to, yeah, I want to look into getting a larger one for in here, and then the one that I have in here can go into the bedroom. And then the little tiny one I can use for like emergencies, or I can have it underneath my table, my work table here, for my footsies, because I'm not a fan, I've never been a fan of having things on my feet. So like right now, I am barefoot. I have nothing on my feet, and my toes are a little on the cold side. Well, more than just a little on the cold side. So I've got nice big, soft, comfortable slippers, but I don't always wear them. Well, even though I know I should. Because I'm not a big fan of socks. Although yesterday when I went to my dad's, he wanted me to wear my new winter boots. And they are nice and soft. And so I put a pair of socks on. And my bonus mom, she knows that I don't like wearing socks or having anything on my feet. And she's like, "Oh, I'm surprised you wore socks." Yeah. But I know wearing socks will extend the life expectancy of the insoles, the interior of the boots. She actually knows me better than my dad does. Yeah. And I think it's because of the fact that she's easier to talk to about things, because she doesn't. My dad is a little bit of a harsh critic when it comes to his kids. So yeah, he criticizes things in my life. He likes to point out the reality of things, the disappointing reality of things, rather than trying to uplift and encourage. It's like when I was younger, when I was in high school and I was dating this guy that he really likes Subarus. The car, Subaru. Yeah, he really likes Subaru cars, and he specializes in Subarus. This is the ex that is a mechanic. Yeah, he owns several Subarus of his own, and they're great cars. And I told my dad once that yeah, I thought that getting a Subaru would be a great vehicle for me to get. And he's like, "Oh, they're very expensive. The parts are very expensive to replace, and they're not cheap." And it's like, well, that's kind of discouraging. Yeah. Also, when I was younger, he like I told him once that I wanted to be a writer when I grew up, because I love stories. I love reading. I love books. And I always had these I had quite an interesting imagination, and I told him, well, I'd love to be a writer one day when I get older. And he's like, "Oh, well, writers are just starving artists. They don't make very much money, not until like after they pass away." And like, it was just negativity. It's like, it's discouraging me from trying to go for my dreams. Like, Yeah, and I bet I bet if I had said, well, I want to become a doctor, he would be like, oh well, yeah, that's a great idea. But the doctors make a lot of money, but it's this many years, like all these years in medical school, all the money for the for the classes, and it feels like to me like no matter what I try to do with my life, he's gonna point out the negative parts of it, because of things, the way he did in my past. So I found, rather than hearing negativity from him about things that meant so much to me, that I felt to be important to me, I just stopped talking to him about that kind of stuff. But I would still talk with him about stuff, just not that kind of stuff. If I was having problems with in a relationship, same thing. I'd get the negative stuff. Like, oh, well, if things are that bad, you should just break up with him. You shouldn't put up with it. And talking with my bonus mom, she's more understanding. Like the relationship that I was in before I started my YouTube channel. Yeah, it was a toxic relationship, and they could both see that it was a toxic relationship. They could see it better than me. It got to the point where, yeah, I could see that it was a toxic relationship, but I still wanted to try to make things work because I know the type of man that he is, and I know what he's capable of, in the right environment. But with the way that he has become due to his environment, there is a strong possibility that he would rather stay in. He would continue down that path, even if the environment was changed. Like he's a bushman. He's a survivalist, but he's too absorbed in his video games now, to the point where, yeah, if he and I moved back to the bush, he would still be more focused on his video games. He would play them less, but still too much. He would still put them as more of a priority than our relationship. And it was just, I'm better off where I am now. I am doing so much better now. Even if I am living by myself, all by myself. Okay, not actually all by myself, because yes, I do still have my kitty cat, Peaches. He's around here. Wait. Yeah, he's still under my table, by my feet. Yeah. And yeah, there have been times in the past where when I was, my dad would be like, well, you should get rid of the cat, and then it'll be easier for you to find a place to rent, because a lot of landlords don't want pets, or they don't want a cat in the house. And well, I'm not getting rid of my cat. To me, he is my emotional support animal. And I know there are landlords out there that don't want animals, like they don't want cats or dogs. There was one place, like when my boyfriend and I and our friend, like the three of us, we had been living in that big 3-bed, 3-bath house with Peaches and our puppy dog, and we were trying to find a new place to rent. We found a place that would have been perfect for us. we met with this young guy, and he showed us around, and he told us that, yeah, like, he was more than willing to rent to us, but it came down to his dad had final say. And unfortunately, his dad said no because they're they're not Native Americans. They're like East Indian. I cannot remember what country in East India type country, like Turkish or Iranian, or I cannot remember. I just it's from they're unlike his dad actually lived in that country, whereas this young guy grew up here in Canada. But anyways, it's a country where they don't have domesticated dogs. They don't have dogs as pets. All dogs are wild and feral and despised, or something along those lines. So yeah, his dad said no to us because we had our puppy dog. And our puppy dog, he was American Red-Nosed Pit Bull crossed with Great Pyrenees. And it's the type of breed that it's known as a Pythonese. The cross between the two is called a Pythonese. We knew next to nothing about this particular breed when we got him. My ex, he believed that at the time that he could handle the breed because of the pit bull part. Because he had a pit bull, pit bulls before. But this puppy dog, he loved to run. And it's the Pyrenees. Apparently it's the Pyrenees in him that made him want to run all the time. And so yeah, it was a struggle having that puppy dog, wanting to run all the time and not being able to because of the places that we lived. At that point in time, we were living in this big beautiful house. He couldn't run because we didn't have much of a yard, and when he was outside, he was tied up. He had a nice long lead that gave him access to the whole front yard. Well, 95% of the front yard. Yeah, so but it was still not much room for him to be able to run. The only time he really actually got to run was whenever he got loose. Like if he slipped his collar, if he was on the leash and whoever was holding the leash accidentally lost their grip and he just took off. Yeah, he'd literally run out and into traffic. Yeah, he did that a few times. And that's what eventually got him, unfortunately. Yeah, he was only about a year old, and he was outside. We had just recently moved into a new place that was kind of out in the middle of nowhere, trees everywhere. And the road that went past our place, logging trucks had a tendency of going down. He was outside. My boyfriend was playing with him outside, and he took off. And yeah, he took off, ran up the road, up the driveway to the road, and ended up, running down the road. And the next thing I know, he's like, yeah, we lost him. He got run over by a logging truck. He got hit by a logging truck. And it was our landlord's father who actually found our puppy dog. And yeah, helped my boyfriend bring his body back. And he went, and it was because it was the middle of winter, we couldn't really dig a hole to bury him, so he found a nice spot, and he buried the puppy dog in the snow, because we figured we'd still be there in the spring, and when the ground thawed, he was going to bury him properly. We didn't have to, in that area, there was, in the winter, there's no risk of wild animals digging him up either, so, because they don't get too close in that area, they don't get too close to populated, like, to the houses, so, yeah. Yeah, it was very upsetting. I was never really much, I'm not much of a dog person. I'm more a cat person, but I have had dogs in the past. Not very often, but I love dogs. I'm not that big on owning dogs because they are a lot of responsibility, and I know that they'd be better off with other families, but I'm willing to try to foster once I've got a vehicle and all that stuff, and we'll see. Maybe either that, or I'll just stick to cats. But yeah, that's a future me problem. Well, yeah, it's a future me issue. In the meantime, I'm just going to continue loving puppy dog videos and showing my parents' dog love and cuddles and scratches. He loves butt scratches. I love giving him butt scratches too. So yeah, I do get my dog fix from going over to their place and visiting with them and their dog. And yeah, that dog, he loves car rides. He got to ride. He came for a car ride when my dad brought me home last night. My dad actually, he completely forgot that I had ridden my bike over to their place. He thought I had gotten a ride, and it's like, well, who do I know that's going to give me a ride to their place? Right? Like, because they're the only ones that I actually know in this town. Is the two of them plus my bonus mom's daughter and son-in-law. And yeah, like, so I don't really know anybody that would give me a ride to their place. But yeah, and that was mainly because because I normally I park my bike leaning against the fence right next to the gate, but because of the weather yesterday, I parked it under the car tent. So because he didn't see my bike, he assumed that I had gotten a ride, which is a simple mistake. But I remembered, and I grabbed my bike and put it in the back of the truck. But of course, with winter coming, and it was pretty dark when we got here. It was dark before we even left there, because it was about 6 o'clock. Yeah, it was about 6 o'clock. We had dinner early. I was actually gonna ride my bike home and make something to eat here. And then my bonus mom, she's like, I mentioned this. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna I think I'm gonna head home. I gotta make something to eat. And she's like, oh, you can have some of this. And she's standing there by at the stove, stirring this sweet and sour pork. Oh goodness, she made sweet and sour pork, and she made the other thing that she made, I believe there was like chicken, and there were noodles, and I know there were mushrooms in there, and onion and celery. Oh my goodness, it was good. Because she's, oh my goodness. When she said that, I'm like, okay. I did not hesitate. I would never say no to her cooking. Yeah, so I am not doing this in alphabetical order. Like, I'm not doing it in the order of the bottles. Because that's just, I find it to be just a little bit too time consuming, because there's so many symbols, and this is it is confetti heavy. It is, yeah, confetti heavy. Almost the entire thing is confetti heavy. Yeah, almost the entire thing is confetti, with a bit of color blocking around the edges. But I am having fun doing this. As you can see, I am a single placing girl. I like doing single placing. I find, like, if I do multi-placing, it's a 3-placer, but I go slower with the multi-placer, and I'm always second guessing myself with the multi-placing, and I'm always adjusting and fixing, and I'm more comfortable single placing. Yeah, I'm a lot more comfortable single placing. Oh goodness, oh my goodness, I got hiccups a little bit, burpees, I don't know, something like that. There's a single Q. So I just take it from the bottle, single Q. So I'm going to go with the reverse. Move that there. Yeah, so yeah, not much is, yeah, there's almost never anything exciting going on in my life. I'd have to say the most exciting thing right now is the anticipation, waiting for this box to arrive in the mail. And then once it's here, oh goodness. Once it's here, oh, I'm going to have a lot of content. I'll be drowning in content. I got that phrase from another YouTube channel. Yeah, I don't just watch diamond painting videos. I watch others, and I've mentioned in other videos that I've done that I've talked a little bit about some of the other channels that I watch. Not what they actually, like the names of the channels, but the type of content that they show, that they do. Well, except for Mr. Ballin's. Mr. Ballin is like, oh my goodness. If you like strange, dark, and mysterious stories, then you would love Mr. Ballin. He came out with a book. He did a book earlier this year, and it went live for sale on October 1st, which apparently is his birthday. And it is also the birthday of a friend of mine that passed away a few years back, unfortunately. Well, he had health issues, and yeah, it's a few years older than me. He was a fun guy to hang out with. He had lots of stories from his past that he liked to share, and, well, a few not so fun stories from his past that I needed to know, being the mother of a young child at the time that we were friends. And because of his history, like, he did do time for something. Being the mother of a young girl, yeah, that'll give you an idea. But yeah, he what he did was, like, he was dating a girl that was slightly underage. She wasn't here in Canada. Well, I don't know about other parts of Canada, but I know here in British Columbia, it's against 16 is the legal age of consent. And I believe he was dating a girl that was like 14 or 15 at the time. This is going back, like, oh God, it's got to be about 40 years now, maybe a little bit more. So yeah, it was quite a number of years back. But yeah, so he actually ended up going to prison. And he did his time and all that stuff, and he did admit to me at one point that, like, he did like girls that were younger than that. And when my daughter got to a certain age, he told me straight out, "Don't, please, she's getting to that age where I cannot be around her if she's, like, wearing a bathing suit," basically. Okay, that's good to know. He knew, he understood his desires, I guess you could say, and he wanted to make sure that, like, I knew and I understood where he was coming from. We had rules in place, all of that stuff. Safety precautions, all of that, the whole 9 yards, to protect myself, to protect my daughter, and to protect him. Like, we went above and beyond. We both went above and beyond to make sure that the ministry here, like, couldn't do anything. Like, there was no reason for them to get involved, because nothing, it was all on the up and up. He was open and honest and upfront with all of this stuff, and, like, we both did everything that we could to make sure that nothing bad ever happened. So that when the ministry did find out, we were able to sit down and say, well, this is what we have in place. These are it was basically like a 5-minute conversation. Like, I was like, yes, I know about his past. He told me these are the precautions that we have in place. If I show up at his place and I bring my daughter with me, they are never in the same room together. He always asks me for permission to give her a hug, and those hugs are always in front of me. He also had a friend that he would call to let her know, okay, she's here, this is what's going on, and then he would call her as soon as we left. Yeah, she never sat on his lap. Hugs were always very chaste. They never sat side by side. And like he was actually godfather to my children. And he was a really good friend. And like he had a daughter of his own. That I actually helped him reconnect with. And helped him get to go and see his daughter. And yeah, it was through her that I found out that when he had passed away. Because there was like, nope, I hadn't heard from him in a while. There were no new updates on his Facebook profile. So I messaged her one day and I'm like, well, yeah, I haven't heard anything from him. Do you know what's going on? And she's like, yeah, I found out on my birthday that he had passed away in his sleep. And it's like, oh no, I didn't know. Yeah, and she found out, like, she was devastated. I was devastated because he was a really cool guy. He had all kinds of stories, like I said, from his past. And yeah, he had done a few bad things, not terrible things, but pretty bad things. And later in life, like, he was only in his 40s, so he wasn't really that old, but with the stuff that he had done in his life, he was older than the average person of his age, I guess you could say, because of the illicit substances that he used to consume in his younger years. And yeah, so he was a lot more cautious in his older years. And he was just an overall fun guy to hang out with. I could overlook the fact that he had done bad things in his past only because of the fact that it was in his past, not his present, and definitely not in his future. Because he took steps to keep his present and future clean and good and positive. He, the last few years of his life, he even dressed up as Santa Claus for the Salvation Army. Well, for the thrift store, for the Salvation Army. And yeah, this one winter, I made him a blanket. I had knitted him a blanket. It was a knitted blanket because at the time I didn't know how to crochet yet. So, okay, so I'm done this row. Done that row. Yay! So now I'm gonna move that up so I can lay down the next row of release papers. Okay, we're doing pretty good on time, just about an hour. So line these up. And I know some of you are probably thinking, why would you be friends with someone like that? Well, because of his past, his history, all that stuff, because of his likes, his particular tastes. Well, I wasn't friends with him because of those reasons. I was friends with him because at the end of the day, he was still a person. A person with flaws, yes. A person with unconventional interests, yes, but at the end of the day, yeah, still a person, with feelings, and that's also the same reason why I kept in touch with my ex-husband after he got arrested and went to prison. I kept in touch with him because, yes, I have a big heart. I see the flaws in a person. I may see the bad things in a person, but I also see the good things in a person. And I can look beyond the bad. And yes, there are bad things about the person, but there are still good things about the person. And that's what I try to encourage the good things in that person. And to help them, like, by focusing on the good things of the person, it pushes the bad things away, I guess. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Trying to bring more good things into their life, in hopes that it'll counteract the bad things, the negative things in their life, in hopes that they will continue to do more positive things. That's why with this particular friend of mine, yeah, he was doing a lot better later in life because of those reasons. He was doing more positive things with his life. He actually is the one that gave me the nickname Bubbles, because I was always so, I was like, he said it was because I was full of bubbles. I was always so bubbly and happy whenever I'd come over to his place. And it didn't matter what mood he was in, I would show up, and within a few minutes, he was in a better mood. Because of me and my positive attitude, temperament, all that stuff. And just being around other people, not groups of people, but like one or two other individuals, one or two other people, I'm happier. Because I'm socializing a little bit. I have somebody to talk to, someone to interact with, preferably in a positive way. I'm not a huge fan of living on my own because of that reason. When I used to live with my friend, he had his own business, he had his own home, he was still making mortgage payments on his home, but it was his home, his business. He had his own business. I had my own room there. I was working, and I really enjoyed his company. When he was, like, he would get up, like, practically at the crack of dawn to go to work. And, he'd be home in the early afternoon, and we'd hang out. And I only worked on the weekends, so, yeah, we would spend a fair bit of time hanging out together, and or he'd go and he comes from a big family, so he'd go and he'd do stuff like help his mom out, or help his dad out, or help cousins. He's got an older half brother and a younger sister. Yeah, he would, and he's lots of cousins, aunts and uncles, everywhere. Yeah, apparently he's got a cousin that works at the Tim Hortons, just like right by my place. Yeah, which is pretty cool. Just looking at the time here. I'm ready to get started on this section here. Let me move this over so so you can see it. There we go. Now you can see it. Now I'm in frame. Yeah. So, yeah, this section is slightly smaller. There's a truck. I can hear a truck running outside. Maybe I've got a new neighbor. Yeah, about a week or two ago, my neighbor in, like I'm in Unit 1, Campground Unit 1. The guy in Campground Unit 2, he moved. I thought he would be here at least for the winter, but I guess his job took him elsewhere. And based on the fact that his license, the license plate on, oh no, there's a travel trailer that's leaving. Oh, so that must be the travel trailer from number 4. Yeah, because 6 and 7 are here long term. They were here when I moved in, and yeah, they're definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. They're both fifth wheels. And there is somebody in number 3. It looks like they're going to be here for the winter. They're from Alberta. Based on license plates, they're from Alberta. So I'm going to start up here with X. So, what else should I talk about? Oh, yeah, I participated in a live event a few days ago with KY Philly Diamond Painting and more, as well as Star from Starlight Starbright 70. And I was talking about, well, close to the end of the live, I was talking about life on the foster farm. When I was little, I know I was saying a lot of sad stories, sad stuff, but I got to thinking, well, there were some positive things there too, like when they would have like adoptions, but like my foster brother and I, like, it was a farm, so they had a few acres of land. Some of the land, some of the land was woods with trees, and there was a little bit of a dirt road that led into the trees that where they had some old derelict vehicles. My one foster brother and I, we were like so close in age, like we're pretty much the same age. Yeah, we did a lot of things together on the farm, and we used to go into where the down the little dirt road where the old derelict vehicles were, and we used to try to make our own gasoline and try and make these vehicles run and pretend that they were running, and used our imaginations for that kind of stuff. Of course, we didn't know how to make gasoline. Like, we would use like water and leaves and sticks and mud and rocks and pretend we were making gasoline. Oh goodness. In the winter time, we used to have snowball fights with the other kids, and it was always him and I against the other kids, and I would make the snowballs and he would throw them, because, well, I never really had much of an arm for throwing, and, well, he's a boy, so yeah, he was better at throwing snowballs than me. Yeah. But yeah, used to have lots of fun on the farm. Yeah, lots of fun on the farm. In the winter, they had 2 ponds. there were 2 ponds on the property out in the yard, and one of them in particular would freeze. Well, they would both. One would freeze completely over. The other one would like partially freeze over. But the one that would fully freeze over, we would go ice skating. We would skate on it in the winter. They would smooth it out as best they could. The foster parents. Well, the foster dad would smooth it out or the older kids. I can't remember. We didn't spend much time in the winter there. But I do remember spending a bit of time there in the winter. And yeah, they would, they had ice skates there. And yeah, there were times when the other kids would go ice skating. I always found it too cold. I was always too cold to go ice skating in the evenings. I've always had issues with the cold in the winter. I'm not a winter person. And I didn't know at the time that it was because I have super sensitive skin. So my skin reacts to the cold really badly. It also reacts to heat pretty badly too. Not as bad as the cold though. But yeah, so like there were times like in the winter when in school, elementary school, my class, we would go to the ski hill to go downhill skiing. I always stuck to the bunny toe. Yeah, I'd stick to the bunny toe, which is like the easiest line to ski down. The easiest line to ski down. For many different reasons. I've never been a fan of falling down and getting hurt because of my super sensitive skin. I've never been a fan of the cold because of my super sensitive skin. I've always been like, if I ever went to like a ski chalet with friends, I would be the one that would always be I would be the one sitting in front of the fireplace, wrapped up under a blanket, with a cup of hot chocolate in my hands, while everybody else goes skiing. And I'd be looking out the big picture window and watching everybody out there skiing. Not that I've ever actually gone to like a chalet and done that. But I have like gone to the ski hill and the foster. Oh, that's something else that we used to do with the foster home. Just down the road from the foster home, the farm there was a hill on property that was owned by a ranch, a horse ranch, not too far away. And every winter they would let the kids. It was a nice clear hill, and they were fine with us, with the kids from the foster home, going over there with like sleds and toboggans and sliding down the hill. And basically it was like, you all go. Nobody can stay behind. They all have to go. We all had to go. Because yeah, even in the winter time, like you, during the daylight hours, you were outside doing something productive. Like, well, not necessarily productive, but you were outside getting fresh air and exercise. You were not allowed to be inside the house. But in the winter time, if you had to go to the bathroom, then yes, you could go inside, use the bathroom, and then go right back outside. Because it was too cold to use the outhouse in the winter. But yeah, they didn't believe in kids just sitting around being lazy. This is also back before pre-internet days. So yeah. So we had to like be outside. So yeah, my foster brother and I, we we did a lot of things together. Had lots of fun hanging out, and we'd go and we'd play in the hayloft of the barn above where where they stored the hay. There were barn kittens up there, and we would always try and spend time, catch them to pet them and hold them and whatnot, and spy on the older kids, because the older kids would sneak off into the barn to smoke cigarettes. Yeah. Yeah, I was closer with him than I was with my own brother and sister when we lived there. And there are days that I miss some of the fun times that we had there. Every Sunday we would go to church. They had a little school bus that they would pile, all of us kids would pile up into the bus, and we'd go into town and go to church. And it was very convenient that my dad ended up buying a house at the time, during one of the times that we were staying at the foster home. My dad ended up buying a house just down the street from that particular church, which was, for me, it was awesome because I could continue to go to the church after going back home, because it was literally just down the street. It was like 4 houses down. And I had made a friend that lived like right around the corner from the house, from the church, I mean. And so I loved going to church and hanging out with her. She and I, we would sneak off to the bathroom and play in there, use our imaginations and play and whatnot. I don't remember the things that we played, but yeah, we played all kinds of like princesses and unicorns and dragons, that kind of stuff. And like I was a few years older than her, like 3 or 4 years older than her. But yeah, she was my best friend in elementary school. It sucked that she was there was that much of an age gap between the two of us. But yeah, she also had an older brother. She's got an older brother around the same, closer to my age, and I had a little bit of a crush on him as well, but just a little bit of a crush. And yeah, she had a younger brother. She has a younger brother and a younger sister, and they always wanted to play with the two of us whenever I would come over. And I was always fine with it because, like, I've got a younger brother, and so it didn't really bother me because he and I, we were always close when we were little, closer than my sister and I. But yeah, my sister, she's a little bit older than me. We had our good times and we had our bad times. Our bad times were like really, really bad. But our good times did outnumber the bad times. I do keep in touch with her a little bit. Unfortunately, the bad times, at times were pretty bad. To the point where there was one incident where my brother was so scared that she was going to unalive me, that he actually ran to the neighbor's house and had them call 911. And our our dad and stepmom weren't home at that point in time, and that's why he ran next door for help. So when they got home, they pulled into the driveway, and a police car pulled in right behind them, and they're like, what's going on? What happened? And all that stuff. And yeah, it was bad. It was a really, really bad fight between her and I. I'm not really a fighter. I've never really been a fighter, and she is, back then she was a bit of a fighter. But she's someone that she'll give you, like, she'll tear a strip out of you, like, verbally, and if need be, back then, physically as well. Yeah, my brother and I, we were both pretty scared of her, because she could be pretty mean, harsh, abrasive, but still fiercely loyal and protective. Yeah, she used to give me a hard time. She used to be really mean to me, but if anybody tried picking on me, look out. And in high school, nobody messed with her. Nobody messed with her. Yeah. And there were reasons for that. Like, she didn't put up with, like, she's always had a mouth on her. Like, it's the words. She doesn't mince on words. She's a very vocal person, and she'll give you her two bits. And she gets that from our dad. He is the same way. And me, I'm the type of person, I don't want to I don't like confrontations. I try to, like, tiptoe around sensitive subjects and certain people. Because I'm always afraid that a verbal confrontation might turn physical. Because they always did with my sister growing up. So that's just how I ended up dealing with situations. I'd rather run away from a problem than stick around and try and fix it. And that's actually, I got tired of doing that. Like, I really wanted things to work out in this last relationship that I was in. That I, like, went out of my comfort zone of running away from a problem. And I stayed for as long as I did to try and, because of how much I love the guy, I really wanted things to work out. And unfortunately, it just brought, like, all of those negative feelings from my past. Because I used to, like, if something bothered me, I'd just bottle it up, lock it away. And last few years, it's been coming out a lot. And because it's just too much anger, too much I'm trying to avoid using the word resentment, but yeah, there is a bit of resentment there too, because too much bending over backwards to please someone that would be who would then turn around and treat me like crap and accuse me of things. Assume that I was lying, going behind their back and saying and doing things. And I'm done with that. I'm so done with that. I am beyond done with that. I was miserable, depressed. Oh, my depression just was so bad, like it's through the roof. There were times when it was so bad that, yeah, I tried, actually, while I was with him, yeah, 2 years ago was the last time I tried. I was beyond done, and I took all my pills. And at the time I was texting my dad, and basically saying goodbye to him, and he's like, no, you call 911. And you come and stay. You come and stay here for a while. So I did. I called 911, and then I told my landlord to. I told the landlord that. I guess I told the landlord that the paramedics were on their way, and yeah, because at the time I was sleeping on the couch in the living room. He was sleeping on the floor in the living room, and yeah, I fell asleep because I have no memory of the paramedics showing up and them taking me to the hospital. I remember waking up at the hospital and just wanting to get out of there and going home, because I've gotten to the point where I don't like being away from home for very long. I don't like being away from home at all, which is why I very seldom go anywhere. I also use the excuse of, like, well, I don't have a working vehicle right now because, well, my van has no insurance. The battery is dead. It's also disconnected. It needs a lot of work. So I'm not driving my van. So I don't go anywhere. Yes, I have a bicycle. It needs a better seat. I like riding bikes. I do like riding a bicycle. Unfortunately, it's the environment that I don't like riding my bike outside. I would rather have a stationary bike. And I actually mentioned this one time to my dad and my bonus mom. I said, like, yeah, if I had a stationary bike, I'd be on that thing like every day. And she's like, I don't think you would be. Like, yes, I would. I wouldn't be able to diamond paint and ride a bike at the same time because you're like moving and whatnot. But I could actually I could ride a stationary bike and knit or crochet, but not diamond paint. No. Would be interesting to try, but the idea came to me when like there was one writer that I get newsletters from. I don't know if I still do this. I don't remember which writer it is, because I get newsletters on a daily basis from different writers. But this one in particular, he has a treadmill and he actually built a special, it's like a desk that is mounted on the treadmill, and while he's walking on his treadmill, he's also writing. And in this one newsletter, he was talking about how he had to get a new treadmill because the one that he had before basically gave up the ghost. So he went and he got a new treadmill. Oops, not the A's. There's a single C here, so I'm going to do this one C. There we go. And little T. Yes, this video is going a little bit longer than previous videos, but that's because I want to. Oh, a little tiny fly. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so you may have noticed I go from I talk about one subject for a bit, and then I go to another subject for a bit, and then another subject for a bit. That's how my mind works. And I'm just along for the ride, and I'm taking you with me. Oh, goodness. Alright, Q. Let's go do Q. Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. What else should I talk about? If you have any suggestions of topics that you'd like to hear me talk about in later videos, definitely post in the comments below. Something that I got to learn how to do is how to link, add links to my descriptions below, because I want to share the links to to fellow diamond painters. But I film my videos on my phones. I am now able to do it with both phones. And I upload videos from my phone. And so I don't know how to share the links in the description yet. I gotta learn a whole bunch of stuff. And I can't, certain things, when it comes to learning certain things, if it's something that I don't do often enough, then I have to relearn it over and over and over again, like refreshers, right? Other things that I do on a regular basis, like doing these videos, because I do the videos often enough, it's easy for me to like do the basic, which is I record the video using, I just use the camera app on my phone, record the video. When I'm done, I either go into YouTube or I go to YouTube Studio. I hit the plus symbol, and then I select the video from my gallery that I want to upload, and then I add a title, I add a description, I check to make sure what do I do? I'm trying to think of the words here. I select the playlists that the video goes under, and every video goes into the binge all playlist. So then if you want to watch them all, they're there. You can just hit play all, and yeah, and then just sit back and relax and watch. work on your own diamond painting or whatever craft you're working on while watching or listening to me ramble on and on and on and on and on and on about whatever pops into my head at that time. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't have to worry about buying diamond paintings for a while now that I've got that box coming. Yes, I'm back to the box. So something that I want to look into doing, and I know I've mentioned it before, but I want to relearn how to do cross stitch. Yeah, that is something that I will probably have to relearn and review, refresh my memory and all that stuff a few times, depending on how often I actually work on something. Like with diamond paintings, I'd love to work on some, have some really big projects to work on. Because as long as I've got enough projects to work on, then I don't have to buy more. I can save the money that I would spend. I can save it to go towards bigger, better, or vehicle, or what have you. Like I'm trying to save up money in my Amazon account so that in the spring I can buy myself a lawnmower, because as long as I'm living here I need a lawnmower to cut my own grass, because come spring my landlord will not be cutting my lawn. So I'm saving a little bit of money. Well, actually I'm using the Mist Play app, which gives you, like, through the Mist Play app, you download and play games, and you earn points, and then you, after so many points, you can redeem those points for money. So I redeem, like right now, it's like 1,500 points gives me $5 on Amazon. So as soon as I get 1,500 points, I get $5 on Amazon. So now I currently have, because I've spent that money in the past, Amazon money in the past, I currently only have $10 on my Amazon account. So I am doing a little bit of gaming here and there. So I am getting points, a little bit of points here and there. So over the winter, I'm gradually getting the money, saving up the money. In my shopping cart, I have that Minwax sealer. That's some diamond painters. I think KY Philly, I think Sherry uses it. I think that's who said that she uses it on a live stream. Yeah, I'm gonna get that stuff. I'm gonna buy a can of that. Not until spring. I'm gonna work on framing diamond paintings in the spring. Yeah. So in the meantime, I'm saving up my money, so that I can get that stuff in the spring. I can also, I'm gonna look at getting some. I'm gonna buy one cross stitch kit to work on, but I'm also gonna be getting the cross stitch conversion as well at some point. Still not exactly sure when, but I'll keep you updated when I know more. I am debating whether or not to keep or sell my printer, the current printer that I have, because it is an HP, and it does cost, for me to be able to use it, I have to have it connected wireless. I have to have it connected wirelessly, and it's currently linked to a deactivated Wi-Fi account, and I don't know how to change the Wi-Fi on it. I've tried looking into changing it, and I've been unsuccessful. And it's kind of bulky and heavy, so I've procrastinated about taking it in to like the Source or Staples or some business where I can get a tech guy to help me get it straightened out. Plus, with being with HP, I was on their the HP Instant Ink account. I had an Instant Ink account, so that I pay a certain amount of money each month, and they would monitor the pages that I print, how many pages I print, plus it would monitor the level of my ink cartridges, and when I would get to a certain level or whatever it is with the ink, they would it's either based on the ink levels or how many pages I've printed, but they would just automatically ship me new ink cartridges. Well, I'm trying to save money, so I've cut down on a lot of things. Like, I don't have Amazon Prime, I don't have Netflix, I deactivated my HP Instant Ink account. So I'm contemplating whether I should, thinking about selling my printer and saving up some money and getting an inkless printer that is like a third of the size of this printer. I've got my eye on some printers through Temu, as well as laminator for some craft ideas, future craft ideas. And because both machines are like a third of the size of my printer, they're not bulky, they're not heavy, and they'll be easy to store. But yeah, I want to get an inkless printer, so then I don't have to worry about ink. I want to get a laminator. I also want to get a vacuum bag sealer, because my bonus mom has one, and she uses it a lot for sealing food. She gets like bulk packages of meat, and she divvies it up into smaller bunches and bags it. And I do that with Ziploc baggies, with freezer baggies. Yeah, because it's cheaper, right? But you don't necessarily, it doesn't have to be used just for like meat or food. You can use it for other things too, and it would come in super handy for certain things. Like, I can make like knit or crochet a bunch of like, say, hats, bags, toques, dishcloths, whatever, and I can put them into a bag and vacuum seal it, and it would take up like way less space for storage. And with living in a fifth wheel, hey, storage is a premium. So then, yeah, I can, like, it would save on space, definitely. So, yeah, future projects. I got all these ideas for crafts and projects, stuff that I want to do. and my bonus mom is encouraging me to do these things, and hopefully someday down the road, like, I can get started on some of these projects, and I can even make some money selling said projects. Of course, it's like a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there, but every dollar helps, every dollar counts, and I can like take some of the money to I can invest some of the money towards future projects, and some of the money towards more life improvements, like vehicle. Save money towards getting a bigger place, like a bigger fifth wheel, or even a pull behind trailer, a travel trailer. I actually would love to get a nice sized pull behind travel trailer and a camper for the back of a pickup truck, because then I could use, like, when like I could go camping, I can use the camper for going camping. Like, I could go camping with my parents. They'd be in their motorhome and I'd be in my pickup truck with the camper on the back. Just throw a few things into the camper, stick my cat in there, and away we go. Yeah. Or I could just use it. I could use the camper back on the back of the truck. I could gut the thing and I could turn it into storage for my crafts. It could also be like, yeah, my hobby room, my craft room. I could work on my projects in it, but then my cat would be lonely. So no, it would probably be better to just use it for storage. I can use it to store my crafts in. Yeah, all these different ideas of things. And oh my goodness, look at that. I'm almost done this section. Yeah, I'm having fun talking and diamond painting. There we go. And how much time has it been? Oh my goodness. Getting close to 2 hours now. I better get off of here. I'll start another section, but I'm going to get off of here. And it's getting dark outside. I need to make something to eat. I haven't eaten yet today. Only because I'm usually not hungry when I first get up. And I'm usually not hungry for several hours after I first get up. But yeah, I'm going to go and upload this so that I can share it with all you lovely folks out there. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!